Hello, how you guys doing? James here. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fine, having a good day. Well, um, have a kind of a social issue with the latest video, and it's about America and what's happening right now, and particularly with a certain ethnic group that looks like myself, seems to have some issues with just being a human being in the United States for just, and then when you raise the voice, people tend to not act so wild. But in this video, I'm going to show you about, shout out to this, I forget who is this channel, TikTok Shop. Going to tell you, when people say that, oh, America, it's not that much, it's not too bad, the racism not that bad. Well, let's see what these people say.
Objective number one, drive safe. If I don't drive safe, I can't get to objective number two. Objective number two is to make money. And objective number three is to make it back home to my wife and kids. So if I'm tired, and it just so happens that I gotta spend a night in your sundown town, this truck will be parked right on the corner.
If you are a black truck driver in America, I need you to listen up. There are places in America called sundown towns. I don't know if you know this, but it's an area where if you're caught there after sunset, after the sun goes down, you're either going to be severely injured or you're likely going to be taken. The company that I used to work for called Warner Enterprises sent me there, and I believe they did this on purpose because I filed a racial discrimination complaint along with many other retaliation complaints. The first clue that I got is because my boss called me and told me to spend the night that night. He has never told me to spend the night anywhere. And then when I got to the facility and tried to get unloaded, the white guy was like, hey, it's not a good idea for you to spend the night here or be here after sunset. He told me to leave. And then when I emailed Human Resources, you know what they told me? They told me I have other pressing matters to attend to. Basically, my life is not valuable to them. So if you ever visit Vincent, Virginia, just be careful. It's in an area known as the Devil's Bathtub, and they do not like black people. Google the history.
As I wake up this morning in the sundown town, I don't play. I've been driving this road for 10 years. We got to plot our routes. It's called plan your way through everything. I boogers all up to it. Plan your way through your routes. Do not find yourself in a sundown town at a no-name gas station and realize that you are possibly going to get kidnapped, possibly not going to wake up and see the next day. You got to plan your routes and get to them truck stops that's well lit. Loves, Pilot, the new Pilot 19 or something like that. Make sure you get yourself to a legit truck stop. Do not ever in a sundown town stop. I'm in a sundown town. I don't care. I'm not scared. I keep your machete. I walk with a big stick as well. Ever been 6'4", and I don't care about none of these cars. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take it out of you. They're gonna be on the news. They're gonna have to hide. They're gonna have to bury their friends with me as well. But understand, we as truckers, we gotta plan our routes. We cannot be finding ourselves in these sundown towns and these no-name truck stops. You are beckoning to be checked out for the rest of your life. You are beckoning to become.
This is why veteran drivers plan their routes like military ops. Safe stops, Loves, Pilot, TA, big chains, bright lights, cameras rolling. You don't park overnight at Joe's no-name gas and go. You don't wander around sightseeing like you're on a food truck tour. And you definitely don't assume the government's gonna protect you.
In these streets, you will always.
Oh, something going on with the volume with this video. Yeah, ain't that something? That in America, you still got this problem. Here we are in the almost damn near in the 22nd century, and we still got this issue with human beings having a problem with people of a different, darker skin tone that's doing their job, that they had to plan like this. Despite African American, Black Americans fighting for the freedom of this country, despite Black Americans getting educated in this country, despite Black Americans pulling themselves upset by the bootstraps with their small businesses, jobs, you still got an old system that still will not let Black Americans be who they are. But guess what? Check out this next video, because it's going to cost people that are going to keep exercising this. They're going to keep exercising this racism and prejudice. Watch this video.
Racism is expensive. It's so expensive because you guys used to have free college. Racism brought about college being the cost that it is. We could never get to free universal health care because Black people would receive it. Racism is expensive. You guys got rid of all of the free parks and pools and programs once the Civil Rights Act was passed. This was America's downfall. The Civil Rights Act. Being civil was y'all downfall.
Racism has always been expensive. It's always been expensive. It's just, they always thought that they would have the fee. They always thought they would have the fee in hell. For a good minute, they did. They had the fee to give. See, the problem is now they don't have the fee. They don't have the fee, so it's becoming a problem. And rather than stop trying to pay the fucking fee, y'all will literally kill yourselves and kill the reputation of this country, of this nation, trying to pay a fee that y'all should have been stopped paying. Okay? Y'all should have been stopped paying. When colleges went from being tuition free to tuition based in 1960s, in the 1960s, that was all because y'all couldn't stop us from getting educated anymore, so you wanted to put a roadblock in there. You wanted to make it harder for us. We didn't have the capital like you guys did, so you added tuition. The reason why America doesn't have universal health care is because that means everybody would have access to it, that including people like me and you. And they don't want that. They thought that they would always have surgery money. They thought that they was always going to have outpatient care money. You understand? Private doctor money. Hell, I'm not going to an office. I can always have them come to me. That's what they thought they was always going to have.
Family, racism is getting more expensive, that even white people are noticing that its costs are more than its worth. Many people are now crying. When you go on TikTok, you'll notice that there are many white people who are regretting voting for Trump. Many white people are saying that they've been making wrong decisions because they knew that their interests will be put in place. But right now, things are getting unbearable. The cost of living in America is very, very expensive. When we look at the healthcare system, it's getting to be more and more expensive with Medicare and Medicaid cuts. And this is affecting both Black and white people in America. Some people voted for this administration. They voted for Republicans because they knew that they'll be able to pay for some of these bills without struggling. But right now, it's becoming more and more unbearable, and the cost of racism, the cost of discrimination is just becoming too much. So family, in this video, Black people will be trying to debunk this fact. Most of them are obviously laughing. Family, I want you to watch this video till the end for you to get to understand the context so well. Once the video is done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family.
Sorry, folks. Looks like the Wi-Fi is down.
Oh, great. What?
I'm gonna probably come back to it, but I didn't want to take too long. But shout out to his video, to his channel. I think his name's Evan, I think. So this is gonna happen.
United United States in decline. What we're seeing cracks in the United States power around the world. Here are some examples. Japan is now saying that, yeah, the Ukrainians are targeting and killing Russian civilians. Now, I've been saying that for a long time, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're targeting and killing Russian civilians, and they're doing it on purpose. And, of course, under Biden, the U.S. government was all quiet about that, and Trump is pretty quiet about it, too. But that's exactly what they're doing. They're targeting civilians, killing civilians. And Japan is saying this. But let's move on from Japan. Let's move to India. The Trump administration says we're going to apply these big sanctions against India if India, continues to sell or to buy Russian oil. Okay, so what does India do? India says, you don't dictate what we buy, who we buy from. You don't dictate those things, talking to the Trump administration. Now, of course, Russia and India now, they're going to be meeting. Putin and the leader of India, they're going to be meeting. India does not intend to stop buying Russian oil. So they're rebelling against that. And even right now, Venezuelan President Maduro, he's calling for the Latin American countries to rally together as American warships are out there floating off the coast of Venezuela, threatening. So you're seeing this crack in America's power. And we all saw the big showdown at the White House where Trump had the European leaders gathered around in a little semicircle like little school children along with Zelensky. We saw that too. We saw it. So this is a very, very precarious time that we're living in right now. And then you also have the situation with China. China buys more Russian oil than India. So the United States is running around shaking a stick at these countries, telling you will not buy Russian oil and gas. You will not. You will buy your LPG, your liquid petroleum gas from us, from America. This is what they're doing. This arrogance. America has had its best days. The whole MAGA thing, make America great again. America was its greatest when it had enslaved millions of blacks here in this country. That was when America was at its greatest. So therefore, it's not a surprise when you see some within the Trump administration running around saying, we want our statues back. We want our statues back of our ancestors. Those killers and rapists. Those were who the statues were of. Yeah, their ancestors. Those who killed and pillaged here in this country. Never once have they seriously considered or talked about reparations, about restitution to those and the descendants of those who they enslaved. Never, never. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen because America's right now, it is crumbling. I see it. And maybe some of you do too. I see it. It is on a very, very shaky foundation right now. You can't blame it on Trump. No, it wasn't Trump. This is generation after generation. Okay? All of them were involved. And still involved right now. So they're threatening these other countries around the world, threatening even some of the African countries. You had the South African president who just said, we don't need no aid. We don't need that. I've been saying that for decades. Not aid for Africa. How about fair trade with Africa? Not more aid. Aid is a killer. Yeah, it helps a few people, the greedy people. It helps a few of them. But no, Africans should not be begging. You should not be begging. The proud history, if you knew your own history, some of you do, some of you don't, but if you knew your own history, the history of your ancestors and all, you would not be out on your knees begging. You wouldn't. Now the same thing applies to blacks here in America, United States of America. Oh, Trump, they're getting rid of DEI. They're getting rid of affirmative action. And DEI had really nothing to do with you black folks. Nothing. That was all about LGBTQ. They included a few of you just so they could say, well, we got some people of color in here. That was why. So, but America is in decline. It is falling. Falling. I see it. I see it every day. Prices going up, continuing to go up, inflation's up. The tax man is becoming more violent, more forceful. It's nasty, and it's getting nastier. Yeah, don't you see it? I do. I see it. So anyway, I wanted to say something just briefly here. Hope you enjoyed the program. Talk to other people, share it with other people.
And he's absolutely right. America is on the decline. America is really on it. It really is. The hotel industry is on decline. The farm industry is on. Agriculture is on decline. And we got time to be racist towards one another because we try and stop certain groups of people from doing what we all need to be doing, coming together as America. But because of superiority, to try to make other people feel inferiority and feel arrogance and carry on the tradition on with this, it has cost America. It has cost America tons of money. Did you know that Target lost billions of dollars behind this situation? A company's big as Target losing billions of dollars. Forget that all that black and other stuff. We don't need them. Because we're white men, but yet you have white men, and some with women agree with them, but they can't keep a host. You have sundown towns, and your sundown towns turn into ghost towns. You live in industry because you're inferiority. You live in industry because you don't want different individuals that come by the right way, but because you saw their numbers growing, and as you know, you raise up this white nationalist, then you put a white nationalist mentality into the White House. You put a white nationalist mentality into the White House and spread it across the United States. And what do we have here? We have towns going down. But because they, as other people say, well, you are the high IQ people. You're high IQ people, but yet your towns is going down. Your towns are being vacant. Your towns are going in the bins. You have people that want all white town, a white town like that, but yet because they don't want to blend in. They don't want to be part of, as long as it looks like us, as long as we can keep the image of just us representing and not these other people of the human race that God put in the planet. But as long as it look like us, if we can show that we still got the majority of us, it makes me feel safe. And then some people psychologically believe that. If we can we can show this, and it's coming back and it's backfiring right in their face. America is on the decline. And she trying to dictate to the descendants of children of slaves, why don't you let that past go, but let our past remain. Let our Confederate statues go up. Let her have her basically, disembogulate all these other people. But yet, you still can't figure out why your towns are turning to ghost towns. You figure out all this time. You still can't figure it out, but you're supposed to be the right ones. But you're so scared these individuals, so they part on Trump's heart, get around a round table and saying this is what we're going to start doing to these other groups of people, and think that they ain't going to know. We're gonna walk around for the next 400 years with this blessing. We're oppressing people to the point that average working black truckers, farmers can't even go out there and work because you got some insecure son of a bitches that don't want to that act like they competing. Racism has, like the young woman said, has cost them money. It has cost them their farms. It's because it was insecurity. And they had a generational, it's like he said, this ain't just happened with Trump. This stuff been going on and still go on. And they still can't figure it out. That we on a decline as a country. And now you hurting innocent people, some who are white, and they paying the price too, who may not have that same mindset. But the racist ones wants to keep it down. The racist one wants to try to erase the history. The racist, and as they erase the history, trying to cover up for the next 100-something years, the curse has calmed down. And they don't like to hear it. That's the truth. That's why we're in decline. And we don't enjoy diversity. We don't, I mean, this, and people, the average people from all walks of life started to see it. You got countries that we used to pay and come here and spend money so we can have business going. But they don't want to do business with you because you're going backwards and being segregated. And you think that it's not, that when people put this on social media, actual truth, that it's going to cover it up. You just don't get it. You don't get it. You're trying to bring back the old past. It's like that man who wanted to make the interracial couple, and they try and break, that's part of it coming back. They want to bring back that old way of thinking. They make their own sundown towns into ghost towns. And like I said, when I look at a town where it was next to a productive area where industry can come in, but that town had a reputation in Illinois because they were so racist. Their towns are still so racist that they didn't want other groups of people trying to strive and make industry in. So they got if we can't have it, then no one can have it. And that's why America is suffering. Reparations? Yeah, they don't want to pay reparations. You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna get worse. The curse is gonna be on them, and it's gonna be so bad. See, it ain't gonna be no savior, no president, no leader ain't gonna get us out because you don't want to do the right thing. You're not gonna do the right thing because you're like, no. And I said, if anybody can go back in time and say, man, and come back from that time and say, no, don't do what we did. We paid the price. If those same people, whatever part of the spirit realm they was in, they would tell you this is wrong. No, don't do this. But they won't listen to them because we made a mistake and we held these people back. And so,
and how can I forget about Georgia? I'm going to say it again like Dr. Umar. How can I forget about Georgia? See, I was watching TikTok, and I seen black people in Augusta after the storm, after the hurricane. I ain't see no crying. I saw them cooking, I saw them laughing, and I saw them being optimistic. Because I told you, when it comes to material stuff, we love material things, but we don't really cherish it because we know that we can lose it at any moment. But when I saw Caucasian people on that camera, they was crying, boo-hooing. If they lose a truck, a house, some pictures, a tractor, it's the end of the world for them because all they have is their things to remind them of the past or the control they had over people in the past. They lose a house, they lose their whole identity. And then they always using the same word.
Oops, sorry.
everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is more of our continued coverage of what is going on in various parts of North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, other states as well that were affected by Helena, Hurricane Helena, or Helene, however they're pronouncing it. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some clips of, so-called black people as they are speaking out about the destruction of many sundown towns. Now, they were getting a lot of pushback, and you can tell by some of the responses that they are responding to pushback they were getting. There were other clips that I saw as well where there were so-called white people who were offended by some of the black people's response to what has happened. Now, there are black people that have been affected by the storm as well. I mean, we're talking about 4 or 5 different states with a stretch of over 122 miles. So, of course, I think what's going on is most people are seeing coverage of majority so-called white people, and they're seeing what's going on with them, the news. There are some stories that are surfacing where black people have been affected as well, but for the most part, a lot of our people are saying, well, it looks like it's majority them, in which most of the counties, many of them are majority white populations. That being said, some folk have done their homework, as you're going to see with this young woman, the first young woman, I believe it is. She's going to show, there's actually a list of what they call sundown towns. It is a list. And it's been circulating for years because black people are definitely the ones who need to know where these places are so that they can avoid them like the plague, literally, because there are people who will take you out if you are caught after sundown. And that's terrible. But that's more of a testimony of the nature of the people that would even do such a thing to other people. Anyway, take a listen at these words as these people speak out, and of course I'll be right back.
So the people are saying that the towns in North Carolina that are being devastated by Hurricane Helene were sundown towns, majority of them. Now, I went ahead and did some research. I did a little look-see. Took me about an hour, and I went through all of the counties that have been affected by the hurricane. And I tried to get as much information as I could as to which one of those towns belong in those counties that are sundown towns according to the list of the current and historical sundown towns in North Carolina. This is the list of the existing and past historically recorded sundown towns in North Carolina. So I went through and looked at what counties some of these towns are in. Some of these listed are counties as a whole. And I can confirm that yes, some of these towns and counties have been hit by the hurricane. Some more damaged than others. For example, Bakersville is at the top of this list of sundown towns in North Carolina. Bakersville is a township in Mitchell County. About 39% of homes and businesses in Mitchell County are without power as of yesterday evening. So there is some truth to it. While looking at this interactive map of sundown towns in the United States and comparing it to the path of Hurricane Helene, you see an interesting pattern. And according to this data posted by the National Weather Service 2 hours ago, you can see where the substantial amount of damage and flooding has occurred. And right down there, it shows us on the map where this is, which is the lower part of North Carolina. And now, as most of us know, hurricanes always seem to follow a routine. They form around the coast of Africa and follow the same path as the slave ships. So it's interesting that we know that these hurricanes follow the paths of the slave ships that brought our ancestors to the Americas through ports like North Carolina, and that this also happens to be where majority of the damage from this hurricane is taking place. I would love to know y'all's thoughts, and if anybody has any stories about traveling through North Carolina while black, let me know. Stitch this, duet this, let me know in the comments down below, because I would really like to cross-reference and see if some of these sundown towns existed but were not listed on the map and are in fact being affected by Hurricane Helene. I find all of this very interesting.
Did y'all hear about them sundown towns that just...
I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave it right there. America, do you get it? Do you see what I'm saying? You hear what the woman was saying? The woman was saying that the hurricanes tracked through the same areas coming off the coast of Africa. You still don't get it. You don't think that's just weather and superstitions. You just happen to see that, and there's some places in America that still the population is dropping. No industry is coming through there. Whatever industry it is fading away. But you choose to hold on. There are people who choose to hold their racism. You choose this. You think that you can keep going on and having envious, jealousy, malice to do this to people, to the descendants of slaves? And you say, well, that's just the past. Well, tell that to the hurricanes. Tell that to the weather. We're gonna race it out. And when Trump started touching these things start happening. Plantations start catching on fire across the South. Let's bring back those general flags. Hurricanes, and they just don't get it. He's bringing back things, depressing things, all under Patriot, even as the Confederate. And what these towns did. You know legacy. Black towns drowned under weather. People were driven out. Industries. They were pushed out. Now you bear the curse of what you've done. And now it's going down. Ghost towns. People can't even get any work in different parts of the country. Your children have to leave because you'll past prejudice, insecure racism. You still don't get it. You think you can still rise and say we can make and do like them silly people out there in Ozarks of Arkansas, thinking that it's, and then you don't understand. The weather's gonna come visit you out there because you can't. Your supremacy, your inferiority, your superiority-ness, your diabolical things in laws and justice, having the police, the government that say, hey, these people, don't worry about these irrelevant people. We have done injustice to them anyway. Guess what? You have to pay. If you don't pay, it's all right. You don't have to pay reparations, but you will see the repercussions of what you wish you have paid. You're going to see it. You're seeing it now. Like he said, America's on decline. Places throughout states like Las Vegas, Nevada, California, Florida, Texas, and that's not even hurt to states that have other little stuff. New York. Nobody wants to come here because you want to keep that part of the past. Now you reflecting at other people. You made a racial division when you did this with the white South Africans. This is what he did. And remember Project 2025? What they're implicating? Guess what? The God of Israel is answering this. See what they do under the stroke of a pen? They bring in the curses. And they don't even see it. And even though we all got to suffer, all races have to suffer. It's because they won't see. They don't want to tell our past, put our past out, so the generations don't know. But the generations one day going to find out. Why did they do this? Because see, God reveals everything what's ugly in the land. You have people that still trying to figure out how the civilizations get wiped out in parts of the world. You have them people that go underground and find cities and towns. and said what, and then they had to go back to the archives to find things about what did these people do that the whole civilization is gone. They have found cities underwater. They have found cities on the land that once was, when they carved the mountain, there was this town. Because them people was in some type of sin. They were doing wrong on the time of the planet, just like we're doing now. In one of the countries that, and even though it was in Europe and other places, America's going to be heading that direction. It's going to go extinct because there's so much bloodshed of what she done here, and inequality what she done here, and all the other things that she done, because evil people in high places and with other places that try to keep other people suppressed. Now it's going, and everybody trying to figure out what. And when the descendants of slaves try to speak up out of it, we're crying. You're crying. You're just dramatic about it. But yet, some of the descendants of slaves are thinking that you stopped them because of employment. You stopped them because of this. And meanwhile, you're hurting your other people that look like you because you're insecurity. They think that you have to be the master race. Probably something like you got out of that book that came out years ago called Turner Diaries. Some kind of stuff like that. Some theological Nazi stuff. If that ever does come here, the curse will come on even worse. Bring it up like a Hitler. Don't matter how high it is. The God of Israel will knock it down. And you will be seen, and then this whole people who think like them will be joining with Hitler. In the most unimaginable place, suffering with him, smelling sulfur. Keep doing what you're doing, and no matter what level of where they're at and high, whether it's a business or whether it's government, whether you're a politician, you're going to suffer. You're causing many people to suffer. Not just black people, because you demisely hate because the melanin in the skin and the features of what we look like. You hurt people that look like you and other innocent people under the guise of supremacy, imperialism, like you've done in other parts of the world. And you're going to pay. And you're going to be exposed. It's going to be ugly. And there's other people that look like you, thinking that you come on over because we're the pure race. They ain't going to want to come to you. Because it was under that we need to go to equality and fairness. But when America reflects something like this, we're one of the countries that reflect this, that citizens, people that speak the same language, birth in the same land, all because of a different skin color, something's wrong. That, there's some people that once like that said, we need to make it right. Now, there's some place in the world that probably was like that, but they're trying to make it right. But you don't want to let it go, but you want to control the history. This government wants to control the history. They want to close the museums. You can close the museums. You can take it out of the books, but you can't take the curses away. Because however it's built up, the winds will knock it down. The earthquakes will shake it up. I don't care how much rich and powerful and politicians can be like a Donald Trump. When you start thinking you're above a God over people and trick of people, like a Pharaoh tried to do to the Hebrews, you see what happened, right? Egypt was gone. Like that. Something to think about. So yeah, I said, yeah, they don't have, I said, that's all right. And that's, I'm gonna say, we're just gonna bear the curse. Everybody have to feel the curse until they make it right. They can stub, because that's how the pharaohs, ladies and gentlemen, stubbing up their heart. Who would think that a pharaoh of Egyptians at the time, when you think about the Bible, give these Hebrews reparation? We ain't giving them. They're cattle, they're property to us. They're not even too bright. We over them. You see what happened to Egypt, right? You don't think it's not going to happen to America? Because what they did to people and we are the descendants or the true descendants of the people that they did that, it's coming. Mark my word. Sit back. Get your popcorn. It's coming. They don't want to do right. They're gonna make the whole United States a ghost town. You're gonna go to towns and cities. What happened? Because places like Vidor, Texas. What happened? Because places like Harrison, Arkansas. What happened? Because they have kept on pushing racism, and then when this gets around the world, it's gonna hurt you, and your people is gonna starve it, perish, because the hatred costs you destruction. Like the young lady said, race is gonna cost you a lot of money and more. You can't be blessed by doing stuff like this. Who told you that white supremacy and white nationalism is going to be blessed? And they got it backward. But God's going to show where it's staying at. He's going to bring it down. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Remember, when we told you back in 2019, it's coming. Every time you persecute us, like they did, the plagues is going to keep coming. Black people are going to uninspected places. It's going to come. Let them keep being racist. Let them keep being prejudiced. They're going to wish they have it. Ooh, they're going to wish they have it. They're going to carry, if somebody's going to carry that hatred to the grave, I hate to see when they hit to the afterlife. With the people, when they stand before the one who's determined who goes to heaven and who come back to the earth. So keep your racist and nationalist mentality. Whether it's in government, whether it's in business or private, it's going to pay one way or the other. And go throughout the United States. Pull up towns. There's people that's showing you where these ghost towns at. Look at the industries that's going down. America's decline because of greed, inferiority, superiority, trying to make other people feel inferior. A government that's trying to suppress the people, divide the people. I can go on, but all right then, guys. Take care. Be blessed. Hey, America really on a decline. People just don't know it. And it's going to keep continuing. Watch. Take care. Be blessed. See you on the next video.